The moment Jesus took his last breath, everything changed, not slowly, not quietly, instantly. The ground began to shake. Darkness covered the land. The temple itself was torn apart. And things no one could explain started happening all at once. This wasn't just a death. It was a moment that shook both the physical world and the spiritual one. If you think you already know what happened after Jesus died, you probably don't know the full story. Because what happened next wasn't just shocking. It was terrifying, precise, and impossible to ignore. Watch closely. 1. The earthquake and splitting of rocks. At the exact moment of death, the ground begins to shake violently, indicating a sudden physical disturbance rather than a normal seismic event. The movement is strong enough to destabilize people, structures, and the surrounding environment. This is not described as a typical earthquake with gradual buildup. It is immediate and intense, starting at the same time as the death event. The shaking causes people to lose balance and forces them to react instantly to maintain stability. Alongside the shaking, rocks begin to split apart. This is a distinct detail. Instead of random cracks, the rocks break in clear, forceful separations, indicating pressure or force beyond normal environmental patterns. The combination of ground movement and rock splitting shows 2 layers of impact. Surface level movement, earthquake. Structural breakdown, rocks splitting. These events happening together demonstrate that the disturbance affects both the ground people stand on and the solid structures around them. The result is a simultaneous physical reaction of the environment, where both land and stone respond instantly to the same triggering moment. 2. The temple curtain tearing. At the same moment, inside the temple, a major structural change occurs. The curtain that separates the inner sacred space from the rest of the temple is torn apart completely. This curtain is not a small or decorative object. It is large, extremely thick, and positioned high above the ground. It functions as a barrier, restricting access to a specific inner area. The tearing happens from top to bottom, which is a critical detail. This direction indicates that the force did not originate from human activity at ground level. Instead, the tear begins at the highest point and moves downward in a continuous motion. The physical characteristics of the curtain, its thickness and durability, mean that tearing it would require significant force. The description shows that it separates completely rather than partially, indicating a full structural break. This event represents a removal of separation. The barrier that previously restricted access is no longer intact, meaning the division it enforced is eliminated. The result is a sudden and complete removal of a long-standing boundary, occurring instantly at the same time as the other events. 3. The descent to the realm of the dead. Immediately after death, Jesus is described as entering the realm of the dead, a place where all souls who had died were held. This is not presented as symbolic, but as a distinct domain where people existed after death. This realm functions like a contained environment, where individuals remain in a state of waiting. It includes people from different periods, indicating that it holds generations of individuals rather than a single group. The key detail is that this place had never been exited or broken into. It is described as secure, with no prior instance of anyone leaving or opening its boundaries. When Jesus enters, the normal condition of this realm changes. The presence of someone who has just died but possesses authority disrupts the established order. This introduces a shift from containment to interruption. A place that previously held all who entered it without exception is now being affected by an external force. The result is the beginning of a breach in a previously closed system, triggered by the entry of someone who is not subject to its limitations. 4. The breaking of the gates and release. Within the realm of the dead, the next event is the breaking of its boundaries, described as gates, or barriers that had previously kept all souls contained. These gates represent a closed system with no exit. Once inside, there was no movement out, and no force had ever opened them. This establishes the condition as permanent confinement. The breaking of these gates is described as sudden and forceful. The barriers do not open gradually or partially. They are overcome completely, allowing what was contained to be released. As the gates are broken, the individuals within are no longer restricted. This changes their state from waiting and confinement to freedom and movement. This event shows a reversal of the previous system. Before, entry without exit. After, exit becomes possible. The key point is that this change does not come from within the system itself, but from an external authority entering and overriding its limits. The result is a complete disruption of a closed system, where confinement is replaced with release, occurring immediately after the initial breach. Sha 5. The empty tomb and angel appearance. After the burial, the tomb is secured with a large stone and guarded by trained Roman soldiers. The purpose is to prevent any interference with the body, making the site controlled and sealed. The next event begins with another sudden disturbance, but this time localized around the tomb. The environment changes quickly, and an angel appears, described with intense brightness and presence. The reaction of the guards is immediate. Despite being trained and experienced, they are overwhelmed and unable to respond effectively. This indicates that the event exceeds normal human control or resistance. The stone sealing the tomb is then moved aside. Even though it is extremely heavy and secured, the movement is direct and requires no visible effort, showing that the force involved is not human. The purpose of moving the stone is not to release someone from inside, but to reveal that the tomb is already empty. This shifts the focus from containment to exposure. The result is a secured location becoming open and empty, with witnesses present who are unable to prevent or explain what has occurred. 6. The disciples encounter Jesus. After the tomb is found empty, the disciples gather in a locked and secured room. All entry points are closed, and physical barriers are in place to prevent anyone from entering. The next event occurs without any interaction with these barriers. Jesus appears inside the room without opening a door or window. There is no visible transition from outside to inside. This introduces a change in how physical space is interacted with. Normal limitations, walls, doors, and locks, do not restrict movement in this case. The disciples initially respond with fear and confusion, because the appearance does not match expected physical behavior. A person who is confirmed dead is now present in a closed space. To address this, physical evidence is shown. The wounds from the crucifixion are visible, indicating continuity between the body that died and the one now present. This combines two elements: continuity, same physical identity; change, new interaction with physical space. The result is an event where a previously dead individual appears in a secured location, demonstrating both recognizable identity and altered physical properties. 7. The centurion's immediate declaration. At the moment Jesus died, a Roman centurion made a direct statement based on what he witnessed. He said that Jesus was the Son of God. The significance begins with the identity of the speaker. A centurion was a Roman officer responsible for overseeing executions, trained to remain objective and unaffected by emotional reactions. His role was to confirm death, not to interpret spiritual meaning. The timing of the statement is immediate. It occurs right after the death and surrounding events, not after reflection or discussion. This indicates a direct response to observable conditions. The centurion's conclusion is based on evidence he experienced firsthand. He witnessed how Jesus died and the events happening at the same time, and then formed a judgment about identity. This creates a shift from neutral observer, convinced witness. There is no indication that the centurion had prior belief or expectation. His statement is not influenced by teaching or tradition, but by what he saw in that moment. The result is an external confirmation, where someone outside the group of followers reaches a conclusion immediately based on observed events. The barrier between God and humanity removed. At the moment Jesus died, the tearing of the temple curtain was not only a physical event. It represented a spiritual change in access to God. Before this, access to God's presence was restricted. Only one person, the high priest, could enter the most sacred place, and only once a year. Everyone else remained separated. When the curtain was torn, that restriction was removed. This indicates a shift from limited access to open access. The direction of the tear, from top to bottom, shows that the change was initiated from above, not by human action. This reinforces that the change is not human-made, but divinely established. This event changes the structure of interaction. Before, access required a mediator and strict conditions. After, access becomes direct. The meaning is that the separation caused by sin is no longer enforced in the same way. The barrier that prevented direct approach is removed. The result is a permanent change in relationship, where access to God is no longer restricted by a physical or institutional boundary.